All right, so today we're going to be looking at a YouTube video, and this is going to be our deep dive into this video. It's called 10 Money Rules to Build Life-Changing Wealth, and it's from this creator, I Will Teach You to Be Rich. Sounds pretty good, right?
It does. And I think what's really interesting about this video is it's less about like the nitty-gritty of budgeting and more about a philosophy of money.
Yeah, and like how to create your own definition of what it means to have a rich life.
Exactly.
And so some of these rules are pretty out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to lie. When I was watching this video, I had to like rewind a couple times. Like, wait a minute, what did he just say?
Yeah.
We're talking 1-year emergency fund, unlimited spending on appetizers,
Oh, yeah?
marriage and wealth. It all ties together somehow.
It's all connected.
So we're going to unpack all of that in this deep dive. And honestly, I think you're going to want to take some notes on this one.
Yeah, this is like a challenge the status quo way of looking at money.
Okay, so rule number 1 is always have 1 year of emergency fund cash, right? That's a lot more than the usual like 3 to 6 months you always hear about. So what's the thinking behind having a full year's worth of cash?
Well, I think especially in today's world, right, with the pandemic and just the uncertainty, a larger emergency fund just gives you so much more peace of mind. It's like a fortress.
Yeah, it's like that ultimate safety net. Like no matter what happens, you've got a whole year to figure things out.
Exactly. It takes the panic out of unexpected situations.
Okay, so rule number 2 is where things start to get really interesting. Save 10% and invest 20% of your gross income minimum.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so is that even realistic? I mean, for most people, are we supposed to be saving and investing a third of our income?
Well, he does say minimum, and he acknowledges that everyone's situation is different, but the idea is to prioritize saving and investing right from the start.
Okay, so even if you can't hit those exact percentages, it's about developing those habits early on.
Yes, and remember the magic of compound interest.
Oh yeah, the snowball effect.
Exactly. The sooner you start, the more time your money has to grow.
So start small, stay consistent, and let that compound interest do its thing.
That's it.
Okay, are you ready for rule number 3?
Hit me with it.
Be able to pay in full for large expenses like a wedding honeymoon, even a house.
Okay, so now he's just showing off.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like who can just casually drop a down payment in cash for a house?
Right, but think about the freedom that comes with that. You're not tied to a mortgage. You can make decisions based on what's best for you, not what the bank says.
Okay, so it's more about the mindset than the actual amount of cash you have on hand.
Yes, it's about being financially empowered.
Shifting your mindset from debt-dependent to financially independent.
Exactly.
Okay, well, I'm starting to see the appeal, but I'm not sure I'll be buying a house with a suitcase full of cash anytime soon.
Maybe not a suitcase, but you can still work towards that financial freedom.
All right, fair enough. Now, this next rule, I think, is my personal favorite. Rule number 4, never question spending on books, appetizers, or donating to charity.
Oh, I like this one.
Unlimited appetizers, sign me up.
So this is about creating guilt-free spending categories.
Yes. Like those little things that bring you joy and you don't have to overthink it.
Exactly. And notice how these categories align with personal growth experiences and giving back.
It's about finding that balance between being financially responsible and actually enjoying your money.
And living a life that feels rich and meaningful.
Okay, so if you could have an unlimited spending category, what would it be? No judgment here.
That's a tough one. I think it would have to be travel.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Exploring new cultures, trying new foods, it just feeds my soul.
All right, Wanderlust noted. Moving on to rule number 5, fly business class on flights over 4 hours.
Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, the creator actually admits that he used to be one of those people who judged business class travelers. Like, come on, why are you spending all that extra money?
Right. But then he came across this principle, the DTOC principle.
What now?
DTOC stands for Don't Trash Observe, Consider.
Okay, that's a mouthful, but I like it.
It's about challenging your assumptions and opening yourself up to new perspectives instead of just dismissing something outright.
So in this case, he actually tried flying business class, and guess what?
What?
He loved it.
Yeah.
He realized that the extra comfort, the personalized service, the ability to arrive at your destination feeling refreshed, it all adds up.
Especially when you're talking about long-haul flights.
Yeah, it's about investing in your well-being, making travel less stressful.
And again, it comes back to aligning your spending with your priorities. If you value comfort and efficiency, why not?
Okay, so rule number 6, buy the best and keep it for as long as possible.
Oh, this is a good one.
Right, this speaks to my inner minimalist.
It's about quality over quantity.
Exactly. Invest in items that will last. instead of constantly chasing trends and upgrading every time something shiny and new comes along.
He gave some great examples in the video, like a really nice coffee scoop, because hey, he's a coffee lover,
Essential.
right? He also talked about his iPhone. He always buys the one with the maximum storage so he doesn't have to upgrade as often.
Smart. And the best part, he's been driving the same Honda Accord for 19 years.
19 years. That's amazing.
I know. It's not just about saving money. It's about creating a collection of things you truly cherish.
And those items can become heirlooms passed down through generations.
I love that. Building a legacy, not just accumulating stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of investing in yourself, rule number 7, no limit for spending on personal development.
Yes. Invest in yourself.
This is something I'm all about, whether it's taking courses, attending workshops, hiring a coach, or even just carving out time for self-reflection.
It's about expanding your knowledge, honing your skills, becoming the best version of yourself.
He gave a couple of interesting examples in the video, like hiring a personal trainer and a posture coach.
Those are great investments in your health and well-being.
Right, and the returns on those investments can be huge. Improved health, increased confidence, greater productivity, a deeper sense of fulfillment.
It all adds up.
So where do you see the biggest potential for personal growth in your own life right now?
That's a good question. I'm always looking for ways to improve my communication skills, both written and verbal.
Yeah, strong communication skills are so valuable in every aspect of life.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about work. Rule number 8. Earn enough to work only with people you respect and like.
Oh, I feel this one deeply.
Right. We've all had those colleagues that we dread interacting with, or those work environments that just drain our energy.
It's about recognizing that your time and energy are precious, and you deserve to work with people who inspire you and lift you up.
He's not just talking about liking someone's personality, though. It's deeper than that. It's about shared values and respect.
Yes, a sense of camaraderie.
Creating a work environment where you feel valued and supported.
And if you have the financial freedom to choose, why not surround yourself with people who bring out the best in you?
I think so many people stay stuck in jobs they hate because they feel financially trapped.
It's a tough situation to be in.
But this rule is about taking control, building a career that aligns with your values and aspirations. Finding that sweet spot where work doesn't feel like a chore, it feels like a contribution.
It's about finding that sense of purpose in what you do. Yeah, and finding a place where your talents are celebrated and you feel like you're making a difference.
So true. All right, now this next rule might seem like a bit of a contradiction to everything we've talked about so far. Rule number 9, prioritize time outside the spreadsheet. Wait a minute, are we actually being told to relax?
I think it's a reminder that life isn't all about maximizing your net worth. You know, it's about finding that balance between financial responsibility and actually enjoying the fruits of your labor.
Right, because what's the point of building wealth if you don't have time to enjoy it?
Exactly. It's about making time for experiences, relationships, hobbies, those things that bring you joy outside of the financial realm.
It's like he's saying, hey, it's great to be financially savvy, but don't forget to actually live your life.
Yes. Find that balance between planning for the future and embracing the present moment.
I like it. All right. Are you ready for the grand finale? Rule number 10, marry the right person.
Whoa, okay.
He puts this one right at the top of the pyramid, no pressure or anything.
Well, choosing a life partner is a huge decision, and it definitely impacts your financial well-being.
Yeah, for better or for worse.
Exactly. This rule highlights the importance of shared values, a compatible financial outlook, and open communication when it comes to money.
So it's not just about finding someone who's financially stable, it's about finding someone who's on the same page as you when it comes to money.
Yes, someone who shares your vision for the future and is willing to work together as a team to achieve those goals.
This reminds me of a conversation I had with a friend recently. She was telling me how she and her partner have totally different spending habits.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, she's a saver, he's a spender, and it creates a lot of friction in their relationship.
That's a common challenge for couples, but the key is to have those open and honest conversations about money, you know, even if they're uncomfortable.
Yeah, and finding ways to compromise and support each other's needs.
Exactly. It's about teamwork.
I love that he talks about marriage as a partnership because that's what it is, you're in it together.
You're building a life together, a life that includes financial security and personal fulfillment.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into these unconventional money rules, what are some of the key takeaways that really stand out to you?
Well, I think for me, it's the emphasis on personal values and aligning your financial choices with what truly matters to you. You know, it's not about following some cookie cutter approach to building wealth. It's about creating a life that feels rich and meaningful on your own terms.
I totally agree. It's about recognizing that money is a tool, and how you use that tool is up to you. It's about taking control of your finances and using them to build a life that you love.
A life that reflects your values, your passions, your dreams.
He makes an interesting point at the end of the video. He says, the more crisp you are about your rich life, the more confusing your money rules are going to be to other people. What do you think he means by that?
I think it's about having the courage to define success on your own terms, even if it means breaking free from societal expectations or challenging the status quo.
It's about being confident in your choices, even if they seem unconventional to others.
Yeah. And as you become more comfortable with your own definition of a rich life, your financial decisions will start to reflect that clarity.
It's like he says, your money rules will fit you like a handmade glove.
I love that analogy.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a thought-provoking question. What would your top 3 money rules be? What principles guide your financial decisions and reflect your vision for a rich life?
Take some time to really think about what matters most to you, what brings you joy, what do you want your legacy to be?
Because once you have clarity on those core values, you can start crafting your own set of money rules that will guide you towards a life of abundance and fulfillment.
Your own personal financial constitution.
I love that. And hey, if you're feeling inspired, share your top 3 money rules with us on social media. We'd love to hear them.
Yeah, let's keep this conversation going.
Absolutely. All right, that's it for this deep dive into 10 money rules to build life-changing wealth. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's like you're creating your own personal rule book for money. A set of guidelines that will help you navigate all the decisions and choices that come with managing your finances.
Yeah, just like any good rule book, it's
Absolutely.
not set in stone. It can evolve over time as you learn and grow and your circumstances change. But those core principles, those core values, they'll probably stay pretty consistent.
So it's about being flexible, but also staying true to those fundamental beliefs that guide your financial decisions.
Exactly. Find that balance.
Now, I want to go back to something you mentioned earlier about compound interest. It's one of those things that gets talked about a lot in personal finance, but I think it's worth really diving into because it's so powerful.
Oh, absolutely. Compound interest is like the magic ingredient. It's what makes your money grow exponentially over time.
So even if you're starting with small amounts, the key is to start early and let that compounding do its work. Right. It's like that famous saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today.
I love that. And it applies perfectly to investing. The sooner you start, the more time your money has to compound.
And the bigger that snowball gets.
Exactly. And it's not just about investing in the stock market, right?
Right.
This principle applies to other areas of your financial life, too.
Oh, absolutely. But think about paying down debt, for example. The faster you can pay off those high-interest debts, the less you'll end up paying in interest charges over time.
So it's like the reverse of compound interest working in your favor.
Exactly. You're preventing that debt from snowballing out of control.
So it's a two-pronged approach.
Hmm.
Grow your assets through investing and minimize your liabilities by paying down debt strategically.
You got it.
Awesome. Now, before we wrap up, I want to touch on something that I know is important to both of us, giving back.
Absolutely. Generosity is such an important part of living a rich life, and it doesn't have to be about big, grand gestures. Even small acts of kindness can make a difference.
Right. It's about finding ways to align your financial resources with your values and make a positive impact on the world.
Whether it's donating to charity, supporting a cause you believe in, or just helping out a friend or neighbor in need.
So as we come to the end of our deep dive into these 10 unconventional money rules, I want to leave our listeners with this thought. Building wealth is not just about accumulating money. It's about creating a life of purpose and meaning.
It's about using your financial resources to fuel your passions, nurture your relationships, and contribute to something bigger than yourself.
It's about designing a life that feels rich and fulfilling on your own terms, a life that reflects your values and allows you to live with intention.
And generosity.
Absolutely. So go out there, define your own version of a rich life, and start building it one intentional financial decision at a time.
And remember, we're all in this together.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.